Hey y'all, welcome back to the Skibidi Time channel, and I gotta apologize for being late on breaking down the new 17th episode of the Skibidi Multiverse. But as a way of saying sorry, I'm gonna dive into its blooper version, something nobody else has done yet. At least, not when I'm voicing this script. This new installment got even spookier compared to the previous episodes, keeping their promise hidden in the Morse code Easter egg from the last episode. By the way, I talked about that in my previous analysis, so if you haven't seen it, check it out after this video through the end screens. In this breakdown, we're gonna dissect all the Easter eggs you probably missed: the third Skibidi base, Elite Clockman, Elite Cameraman, and the SUSTV Woman leak. Plus, there's a challenge. If you don't subscribe and hit that like button, something might happen to you. Just kidding, folks. Enjoy the show. The episode kicks off with a warning about a jump scare, and it seems like we're witnessing the execution of the Skibidi Apocalypse plan from the 13th episode. Elite Cameraman took down Speakerman, and this plan, represented as a folder, got burned by Moby. However, I can tell you in advance that this isn't the only plan in this multiverse. Today, we'll explore another Skibidi base where similar events unfold. This time, the perspective is from Camerawoman, which is already an interesting twist. We've never seen anything like this in the multiverse, and in the original universe, the only time we had a POV was with Titan Cameraman in the 51st episode, and he had a HUD. Dom Studio didn't include that here, so it's fascinating to see different characters' points of view. In the elevator reflection, you can spot her turret gun, which comes in handy later. Camerawoman exits the elevator, seemingly in a skyscraper, reaching one of the top floors. She witnesses a battle in a regular office, where Cameraman is wielding his stun gun without gloves, something I've never seen before. If you have, let me know in the comments. Behind Cameraman, there's a Skibidi toilet with two small buzzsaws, and its head is the same as the one in the triple Skibidi toilet from the previous episode, confirming that Skibidi toilets can clone their warriors. We also see Speakerman falling, and as the camera turns right, Karate Speakerman fights and defeats the Skibidi toilet, revealing it to be a robot with rifles and mechanisms. This karate expert holds his own on the battlefield, even after falling off the bridge in a previous episode. Camerawoman then grabs a knife from the table and skillfully throws it, hitting the steel toilet in the eye. She then uses her hands to pry out the eyes, beats it from both sides, and forcefully throws it out the window, shattering it. Turning left, she encounters two fallen Alliance warriors and four Skibidi toilets, two unconscious and two attacking. The one on the left has two guns, and the one on the right has a camera, probably a robot. There's also a device behind them, likely delivering fuel to the Skibidi toilets on the battlefield. Camerawoman swiftly pulls out her turret gun and takes down the enemies with precise shots. It's worth noting how quickly she retrieved her weapon and fired. Suddenly, she hears a toilet with a camera on its eye, tossing the karate cameraman out the window. In the same second, it flies towards her, and with both hands, she deflects the toilet out of her way, activating its flight mode and saving her comrade. And yeah, don't be surprised that she can fly using her weapon. I'll show you later that she doesn't have any jetpacks. So she's flying through some office, landing on the ground. But why couldn't she do it without messing up other people's offices and buildings? Anyway, let's move on. The interesting part is about to start. Camerawoman lands on the battlefield, where most are cameramen with their stun guns. On this bunker, we see the sign Skibidi Base 3, and it's the second time we've seen their base. Right in front of us, a cameraman in white socks, or maybe it's a cast or a soul, runs by. On the left, there's another character fighting a brown toilet with two guns. Turning her head a bit more to the left, we notice a third karate guy, using his abilities to punch the opponent in the face. I want to point out that they're all brave. On the right side, there's another Skibidi toilet in glasses, a helmet, and two guns. After that, Camerawoman turns a bit more to the left and spots a large helicopter, a Skibidi toilet with white eyes, shooting and killing one of the cameramen. The one on the right manages to dodge it. Brave Camerawoman flies towards this fool, dodging his rocket during the flight. With her hands, she crushes his head, and something unusual happens. Instead of regular blood or no discharge at all, black blood flows out, maybe oil helping him for his function, just like with Nightmare Skibidi Toilet from the 16th episode, where black mass flowed from its eyes. Moving on, the toilet malfunctions, evident from the characteristic sounds it makes, and Camerawoman returns to the battlefield, where unfortunately, she notices a headless Alliance warrior. She wipes her lens with her hand. During the turn of her lens to the right, one of the cameramen gives a thumbs up. When the camera turns to the right, we see Elite Clockman, who will appear later in this episode, standing and observing everything. Suddenly, near the toilet base, a terrifying giant Skibidi toilet appears, scattering some Alliance members on the ground. We see 2 maces, 2 guns, 2 jetpacks, the rusty toilet itself. The camera zooms in on its face, and we can observe its horrifying teeth, black eyes, and it seems to have protection over its eyes, and also a mouth guard of some sort. After zooming out, Camerawoman wants to shoot the enemy, which is strange to me. I thought she was smart and aware that the enemy is stronger. If she shoots, she'll attract attention and die. But one of the cameramen asks her not to do it, signaling quiet. She puts away her weapon, and we can see other Alliance members walking quietly and silencing the roaring Skibidi toilets. In this shot, Elite Clockman is still observing everything, and from some buildings, there's smoke coming out where Skibidi toilets are being manufactured because we're currently at their base. Everyone tries to walk quietly, but one speakerman accidentally kicks an empty can under his feet, dies, and sets up his allies who also die from the impact. The Alliance tries to neutralize him, but they fail. After that, he destroys a house behind his base with his maces and flies up. All warriors scatter due to the powerful explosion, but unfortunately, probably none of them survived. Press F for all of them. Meanwhile, Cameraman calls Camerawoman to hide, but the enemy breaks into the house with a mace along with Cameraman, and it seemed like that could be the end, and the Camerawoman might perish, but then out of nowhere, that Titan speakerman swoops in with some new upgrades. By the way, in the previous breakdown, there was a tablet showing the locations of all the Titans, so if you're interested in that info, check out the analysis of the 15th episode on my channel. From a powerful beam hit, the toilet falls, and the Titan's handheld cannons have been upgraded. Now it looks more aggressive. Most likely, with the help of Drillman Scientist, he got an upgrade allowing him to release claws that can pull opponents towards him, similar to what Titan Drillman did, who, according to information from the previous episode, is currently in repairs. The flamethrowers of the Red Titan have also been fixed. With his powerful sound from the speakers, he finishes off the opponent, gives a thumbs up to the Camerawoman, and suddenly the entire battlefield clears up. The Camerawoman sees TV Woman waving at her, and she immediately flies towards her. Again, the strange Alliance warriors miscalculate their strengths and try to break into the door of the 3rd Skibidi base. TV Woman looks at them in confusion, gives a hand to her partner, and they teleport inside. Before I show you what happened next, I want to break down one of the 2 promised blooper versions of the episode. As you can see during the teleportation moment, one of the cameramen with a gift in the form of a heart and flowers came to one of these heroines, and he was about to approach her when they disappeared. In desperation, he dropped the gifts and sneaked into the bunker. Okay, I'll change my opinion. The Alliance warriors aren't stupid. They just do whatever they want when they need to. Another thing I noticed is that the Camerawoman doesn't have a jetpack, confirming my theory from the beginning of the video that her weapon contains a jetpack. Meanwhile, the heroines teleport to a room where a siren is wailing due to the Alliance's illegal intrusion into the Skibidi toilet base. Also, in this shot, we can see that it's 2030, and all I can point out are these 2 doors we're heading to now. Opposite the entrance to the right door, I noticed this female mannequin, and I'm very curious about what she's doing at the Skibidi toilet space. Probably, she's working in quotes with it. Above the entrance, there's a Morse code and a sign that says no camera. Let's start with this sign. Apparently, you can't film what's inside, but the Alliance doesn't care about that. Based on the Morse code translation, it says The Shining, which is a 1980 movie, probably one of the most suitable films that Dom Studio decided to add to their episode. When entering, we see 2 little sisters playing with small plush toys resembling Alliance fighters, like if you want one for yourself. TV Woman loses her head, and it all looks very creepy. By the way, these sisters are indeed from that movie. From their faces, you can tell they wish us harm, and the right sister makes a cut off the head sign. After such a scene, not only are we shocked, but TV Woman herself is too. So we move on to the main door. By the way, look at this thing, apparently. It's a hand sanitizer. After opening the doors, pay attention to these clocks. It's 21:10. Something's not right here. We see something strange happening, and Momo, on all fours, is eating the remains of one of the Skibidi toilets. After Momo shows all her abilities, after Camera Woman falls, TV Woman, with her beautiful orange aura, kills Momo. I want to draw your attention to this frame. TV Woman's left hand passes through her entire body, and we see her in that spot. Of course, it's not a flaw in creating 3D models that Dom Studio did. Maybe it's an Easter egg. I think Elite Cameraman would appreciate it. In general, Moby, Elite Cameraman, and ISO Toilet appear, the second of which makes the OK sign. They all turn to the left and see TV Woman reading the folder with Skibidi Apocalypse. But before that, let's look at the photos hanging there. Bottom right, the two sisters we just saw. Top right, Nightmare Skibidi Toilet. In the middle, Momo Toilet. Bottom left, Phantom Toilet from episode 14. And top left, an unidentified toilet. After that, no one attacks her, as it happened in the 13th episode. And in the bloopers version, Elite Cameraman approaches ISO Toilet and says he went too far, while the second shows the Roxas image. With her green screen activated, TV Woman scans the entire folder, and thanks to her, the Alliance will know what to prepare for in the future. Thanks everyone for watching. Subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up. Skibidi time out.